A system configuration in systems engineering defines the computers, processes, and devices that compose the system and its boundary. More general, the system configuration is the specific definition of the elements that define and/or prescribe what a system is composed of. Alternatively, the term system configuration can be used to relate to a model for abstract generalized systems. In this sense, the usage of the configuration information is not tailored to any specific usage, but stands alone as a data set. A properly configured system avoids resource conflict problems, and makes it easier to upgrade a system with new equipment. Sample configuration: the following is a basic SCXML system configuration. Description: this provides information about a single site, and specifies that there is one host with user setup and MySQL DB components. The host must have an account on it for a user named MySQL, with appropriate parameters. Notice that the configuration schema requires no XML tags that are Windows or Unix specific. It simply presents data as standalone information with no pretense for how the data is to be used. This is the hallmark for a good system configuration model. Further extensions: the above model can be extended. For example, the user could have more attributes like preferences and password. The components could depend on other components. Properties can be defined that are passed into sub-elements. The extensions can be endless and must be managed and well thought out to prevent breaking the idea of the system configuration. Usage: the usage for the model in practical terms falls into several categories: documentation, deployment and operations. Documentation equals, one use of the configuration is to simply record what a system is. This documentation could in turn become quite extensive, thus complicating the data model. It is important to distinguish between configuration data and descriptive data. Of course, comments can be applied at any level, even in most tools, however the bloating of the data can reduce its usefulness. For example, the system configuration is not a place to record historical changes, or descriptions of design and intent for the various elements. The configuration data is simply to be, what it is, or, what we want it to be, not, how to get it there, or, what it was. Deployment involves interpreting a configuration dataset and acting on that data to realize the configure the system accordingly. This may simply be a validation of what's there to confirm that the configuration is in effect. Examples include a Perl library launched from the command line to read the configuration and begin launching processes on the local or remote hosts to install components. Also, while the system is running, there may be a system configuration service that provides an interface for other system applications to use to access the configuration data, and perform deployment-like actions. Operations equals, when the system is in operation, there may be uses for the configuration data by specific kinds of services in the system. For example, a secnager may access the configuration to acquire the MD5 passwords for the user accounts that are allowed to log into hosts remotely. A system monitor service may use the data to determine what to monitor, and how to monitor the system elements. A presentation manager might use the data to access menu items and views based on user access privileges. References: knowing your system's configuration. One key to a well-tuned, trouble-free system is making sure it is properly configured. In order to accomplish this, you must start by understanding its configuration. It can be difficult to figure out what all the devices are in your system and what resources they are using. To assist in this, several software tools have been created. These are typically called diagnostic utilities or programs. Some of them are built into your operating system and others are available either for free download or commercial purchase. Also, there are areas of this site that can assist you. The sections on each of the main system resources have tables that list all the resources and the devices that typically use them. You can print these out and use them as checklists. In addition, see the device resource usage summary table that shows at a glance what resources are used by each of the major devices in your system.